Moon Knight, issue number 6. That's right, folks. We're back with a great Moon Knight book. I think it is super impressive, and I say this every issue. It is just astonishing that a Moon Knight comic book is top tier Marvel. It's unbelievable because this character has been prominent in the hearts of many fans, and now I feel because of the TV show, he's going to be beloved more, but he's never going to achieve A-lister status, and I just like that it's just slowly building up a great mythology here again, and it's really cool to see. Every single run and every single issue of this book, I should say, has been incredibly well done. And in particular, this issue, I think, is really good at establishing a different type of status quo for the character. We're seeing kind of like his world is growing in a way that's never really grown before. It was always about the people he knew in New York and not really about like the Egyptian mythology connected to him. There was those aspects, but it was never really that was the focus. This issue kind of sets that up in a different way, which is really cool to see. So we pick up where we left off. In the last issue, we had the reveal that Terry has actually been Zodiac, who's a character from Dark Reign or something. I know nothing about them. They're a standard lunatic. And basically, we don't get like their motivation for wanting to pretty much like toy with and play against Moon Knight for a bit, but we open up the book, they're having a big fight, and he's just threatening Marc. Like, what are you going to do? You going to hurt me? You going to cut off my face? You going to do something to me? He's like, come on, this game has been so fun. Everything we've been doing has been so interesting and creative, and I just having so much fun doing this, so I'm not going to kill you either. I'm just going to break you. And then I want to help you. Like, you have so much potential to be something incredibly different and it's cool, but you're just so addicted to the stink of your own hypocrisy that it's just amazing what you are. It's unbelievable how you can preach one thing and then do the other one. I love you, man. And I'm like, yes, that is a great understanding of this character, because I'm not saying Moon Knight's a hypocrite, but I think there is a level of hypocrisy that comes when you have a character steeped in any religion. I think a clear example would be somebody like Daredevil, where there's the big Catholic guilt that weighs over them that affects them at every turn. Moon Knight could be like that too, where he does these things for his god, but if his god is even there, why is he doing these things? We also see that Reese is like banging on the door of somewhere where she's like, I know you don't want to do this, and I don't like you, and I know you don't like him, but he needs your help right now. And we're led to believe, who's this going to be? At first you're like, is it Greer? Is it going to be, Crawley or somebody showing back up? Then we cut back to Zodiac just beating the crap out of Moon Knight for a bit. He pulls out a knife because he's going to go kill Soldier. But before he can really get to Soldier, he's attacked by Hunter's Moon. And I think this is kind of cool. Again, it's common practice that there's the opposing villain or antagonist that is very similar to your hero. And I think what they do a good job in this book of establishing is that Badir is okay with there being a Moon Knight. He's just uncomfortable with Marc being that character and that guy. And basically it comes down to, we may not like each other, but we're brothers in essence. We have the same father, so we're going to have to at least help each other in certain moments. And you see Zodiac's like, okay, that was kind of cool. There's another Moon Knight. Hey, that's really fun. You have another one, Marc. Amazing. You are such a weird dude. Look at all this crap. Well, I gotta go. So he blows up something. Literally, he just blows up Marc. Marc's not dead, of course. He just gets blown up. And then we see Marc is unconscious, and we're just watching as Hunter's Moon kind of figures out what's going on in the situation. And we get a nice page reveal where Marc is kind of unconscious, and he's slowly seeing through the darkness this figure appear. It's calling his name. He calls him his son. And we see that, okay, Khonshu is slowly returning to Marc. Whether that's the real Khonshu, Marc's ideology of Khonshu personifying itself in his head, we don't get confirmation. But I think it's really cool. So Marc wakes up. He's in some hospital thing with Badir. He's like, what are you doing? Last time we met, you threw me off a building. I don't recall you liking me, and I said I'd murder you if we do this again. He's like, that may be true, but whether you like it or not, and whether I like it or not, we have the same father, and that makes us brothers. And he's like, I'm going to pass out again. He's like, that's fine. Just rest, Marc. I'm going to tell you a story. It's kind of how I calm myself down in these situations. It just takes me a while to get into focus, and it helps my mind keep focused on the work. And we kind of get like a retelling of a Moon Knight origin story, but from the perspective of Dr. Badir, and it's how he became the Hunter's Moon. And as we are seeing this story, and as he's telling this story, we are seeing the way Marc is entering his own mind, trying to like maybe hunt down his, father again of Khonshu, and it's a very compelling stuff. But he's also kind of like picturing the things that Badir was doing and how he came to be in power. So it's kind of a story similar to that of Moon Knight. He was very connected to his parents. Both of his parents were doctors. He grew up in Luxor, Egypt. And, he just saw what the world could do, and he studied all this stuff. He became really good at medicine. He became a doctor, but he always had this weird connection to God, and he always felt God on his shoulder, God as a presence, and he always had so many questions, and there's never really anything answered for him. And as he started to kind of like figure things out, the idea like made him more spiritual in a sense, but he just felt like there was something wrong. There was something missing in me. I was a rational kid, but I still felt this presence, and I didn't understand what I was feeling. And it wasn't until a long time later that I figured out what that was. So in the same way that Marc was working for Bushman, and he gets killed by Bushman and left at the altar of the fist of Khonshu himself, I should say, Badir is walking down the streets one night. He gets attacked by a gang of vampires, and they kill him, and that is where he finds Khonshu. Khonshu does the same thing he did to Marc, giving him another chance at life, being the Hunter's Moon. Very cool. It's very smart, because it's different enough where it's more steeped in like horrific stuff, where it's like monsters and madness, not a mercenary. It's a man of science being attacked by something against science, which is kind of like a cool idea to play with, where it is kind of intrinsically connected to like, are vampires connected to the moon? I guess not really, but you could look at it that way. And we see that as Badir is telling the story, he's bandaging Marc up, and he's drawing like a weird thing on his chest of like the lunar symbol. As they keep telling the story, more bandages are being put on top of Marc, to the point where he's wrapped up like a mummy in a sarcophagus. And basically, we continue the story, and we're seeing that this is what Badir saw. He was just looking down as he's bloody and bleeding. We see the reflection of Khonshu in his glasses. And something I do like that this book has done a really great job of with the colors is that Moon Knight's always got this kind of like blue hue to him, but when it's Badir, it's red. It's like this bloody darkness thing because he's connected to vampires. Very cool. It's honestly very cool. So the same way, Marc got his life back together, Badir got it. He got a divine purpose, and he was going to work with Khonshu to continue that. And we see that Marc asks him, so what's changed? He's like, oh, nothing. Like, I just figured, well, you're still here, so that's something, and we are brothers, so I guess eventually we're going to either hate each other, love each other, see what comes about it. He puts Marc into a sarcophagus, locks him up, saying, heal up now, brother. The moon will rise on you again. It's kind of cool. We cut back to Marc's mind, and we see inside the mind is Khonshu looming over his shoulder. He's like, my son, I miss you. Pay me a visit soon. So I guess you could see, again, I like the open-ended interpretation where Marc's either going crazy and he's not really seeing Khonshu, or this is actually Khonshu projecting himself into Marc, saying, hey, come find my physical form that the Avengers have locked up somewhere, and it will all be okay. Either way, I think that's really cool. Cut to the next day. Marc wakes up. He breaks out, taking the bandages off himself. We see Badir is just like, all right, man, why don't you go find your friends? They're waiting for you outside. He's like, I still feel like crap, but at least I can move. He's like, that's great. I mean, I did get blown up, so I should be okay. Thank you again, Badir. He's like, look, dude, I get it. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think you're fit to wear the title you have, but we're brothers, so I will accept you in this world if you accept me. So Marc leaves. He's back in his suit. Greer shows up, and it's interesting that Greer is in this issue, and she doesn't say a word. They're just kind of walking away. You see that Marc kind of apologizes for the way Reese had to handle things getting Badir and how she didn't understand what Terry was. And he's like, I'm sorry. It's like, I know it sucks, but what's really next? So he's like, well, nothing's really changed. I'm still going to protect my people, and I made Zodiac a promise. I'm going to fucking kill that son of a gun. Which is very cool. As they're walking down the street, everyone's just like, Mr. Knight, we're so glad you're okay. It's good to see you up. And it's like, everything's weird. We're all so worried. It's like, great. Look at this. Getting some... It's cool. I like it. He's getting some recognition, and the world's kind of accepting this version of Moon Knight, which I think is very interesting and a cool concept to play with. And we see it. The literal Midnight Mission has been destroyed. Soldier shows up. He's like, dude, you saved my life twice now. You saved my mom. I'm your guy, okay? Whatever you need, no questions. I'm working for you. You got it, dude. He's like, yep, sounds good, Soldier. Thank you. They walk inside. The mission's burned down. Everything's broken. He's like, well, what are we going to do now? Reese is like, we literally don't have a base of operations anymore. What are we actually going to do? He's like, well, the same thing we've always done. We still got a mission, and if Zodiac wants to test me again, he knows where to find me. I'm Moon Knight, and I'm not going anywhere. And the book ends where we see Marc sitting in a folding chair in the burned down ruins of his midnight mission. And man, oh man, again, it's just strong. And I just adore what this is, just giving Hunter's Moon some more to deal with, playing with the expectations of Khonshu, having something with Zodiac here. There's so much fun work at playing. It's creating this incredibly powerful mythos. And I'm just super happy and super impressed that a Moon Knight book is getting recognition, that a Moon Knight book is becoming this popular story, because it's really cool, very impressive, and it just makes me happy that we can have this character do something incredibly special and something fun. So if I'm not mistaken, this kind of like ends the first arc-ish of the book. The trade paperback will collect the first 6 issues, and that should be out in February. If you are trade waiting, that's what I'd say. February 15th, I believe, is what Amazon had it listed as. But if you still aren't interested in this book, I'm telling you, the writing is phenomenal. It is the perfect interpretation of Marc Spector. The artwork is breathtaking. The colors are flawless. It is incredibly well created. It's incredibly well crafted. Every page and every panel of this book is a brilliant work of art that understands the character so beautifully. It plays with Egyptian themes that the character has delved into, but has never felt so authentic and dark. It's incredible. So Moon Knight, issue number 6, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.
Oh, demon, face the vengeance of the Moon Knight.